face. There's something about those eyes. Folks, and he just scent marked on the right-hand side of the road. He is taking a serious dig at Mr. Tingana right now. Serious dig there, he's doing it again. Trying to get in front of him so that we can get a nice look at his face. But it's difficult. There's a junction coming up, and all depends on which way he's going to go. We are still with the other vehicle. Take Care wants to know why they don't scent mark on the road, and primarily because the vegetation on the side of the road, there's also a bit of soil underneath it. The soil is a bit deeper than on the road. The road is quite compacted from our vehicle traffic. Aubrey's done a good job and got in front of him there. My bad, Davy. And so the vegetation on the side of the road is an ideal spot for them, because the vegetation will hold. Just going to move here. Will hold that as well a little bit better than the soil itself. When he scrapes, he also scrapes the soil, turning it over. What's he got here? He's smelling something. Turns the soil over, and by turning the soil over, see, he's busy smelling where someone else has done something. I'm terribly sorry. I have now gone in. Oh, he's doing the phlegm in response. Sorry, Davy. I've just completely blindsided these other people here. But we're going to get in front of him. That was the objective. Now, he's gone and smelt someone's scent marking there. And he did a bit of a phlegm in response, where he lifted up his top lip and he activated the organ of Jacobson, which is on the top of the mouth, and that gives that characteristic snarl that you often see from a cat. He's not being aggressive. Here he is. He's walking right past our vehicle. Isn't this magnificent? He is right here, only meters away from me, folks. This is live, absolutely live. I was struggling to move in my chair there for fear of him showing any interest in the vegetarian that I am. You don't want to move too much for a leopard. You don't want him to see the human being in the car. And I don't want to be a snack either. So I did my best to turn around and smile at the camera, even though it doesn't matter how many times you see this up close. The heart rate always moves a little bit. I've never seen him before, so I don't know him very well. We've spent a bit of time with him already. He seems to be quite relaxed to the vehicle. But you never know. Always got to be aware and read the signs, the animal behavior. That is the bush. I'm going to try and get around him again. Yes, Corona, he looks us directly in the eye. There he's doing it again. He looks us directly in the eye, and that is what leopards do. They like to, it's a challenge actually for them, and looking at a leopard directly in the eye is something that on foot you should never ever do. They look straight through your soul, straight through to your inner being. And they find whatever weakness is in there. And it is quite a daunting feeling when a cat that can charge at a remarkable speed is right next to you. He can about 20 feet or 23 feet in a second. He was only about 6 or 7 feet away there, so shudder to believe. You can see how relaxed he is. This is checking out both of the cars. What a beautiful cat. Okay, well, we have the potential to get around in front of him again and watch him walk. What has he spotted? Oh, sorry, Nix is telling me something about a spot, but I'm not quite sure what she's talking about. But Davy would like me to get in front You can view this man. Okay, so now this is what Davy wanted from me in the first place. We are now going to watch him come directly towards us and hopefully reverse backwards as he does without colliding into Aubrey, which would not be ideal. So from where Tingana is now, I would say half a mile or so, and he's heading in the direction, directly actually in the direction. I know that because this is the route that we run, believe it or not, except he's doing it a little bit backwards. There he is again, right next to me. We're coming to Philemon's Dip, which you all know. This is the area where Tundi spent a good month or so. Sorry about the area behind there, folks. But we are still with this beautiful cat. And the dip over here, this is where Tundi had her cub for a month or so. I don't know what's happened in this last month, but that time I was here, spent time with them, this is where they were at. And maybe he's going to try to do another one of his warthog tricks. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Gonna get around there. He's definitely doing something. He's definitely doing something. His body language, those of you who are with us on TV will have seen what... Davy, you just tell me when, bud. Those of you who saw Hukumuri on TV will remember that it did something very similar to what he's doing right now when he grabbed that warthog live on camera. I'm not sure where they were, but this is unbelievable stuff. Couldn't be a more beautiful photograph. And the other guests are on the other side of the Termite Mound, so they've also got a really nice view. And as he climbed up onto the Termite Mound there, his ears went flat. He completely lost his profile to get on top there. And he's scanning directly down into the drainage line of where Tundi had her cub a month ago. Bobby wants to know, would he actually be trying to find Tingana? And you know, what leopards will do is they'll scent mark and then they'll call. And that generally happens at similar times and normally around sort of territorial times when they are moving. And you haven't heard him call. It might be a bit early in the day for him to call. But by calling, they will obviously try and space themselves out. They don't want to bump into each other. But if he's actively trying to move into Tingana's area and trying to find him, I think he would physically be calling to advertise his presence, to let the other male know that he's nearby, to avoid the confrontation. A male leopard doesn't deliberately want to run in and fight another leopard. He would rather avoid it just through body posturing, just through strength, just through the loudness of his roar. But to physically just run around and fight other leopards is not to their advantage. Any injury that this male can sustain could lead to his downfall. So they will avoid conflict if they can. So that's why they scent mark. That's why most animals use some form of territory marking and calling. It's not to attract the other male, or it could be to attract a female, or a female to attract a male, but it's for the males to know where they are and to ideally avoid each other if need be. But I don't know him, and the dynamics that I've seen so far in the Sabi Sands are unbelievable. And what this leopard is thinking is really, really difficult to say. Dandy, you commented, looks like he's got fake eyelashes on. Well, he's got some marvelous looking eyelashes there, definitely. Giraffe have still got the nicest eyelashes, I think, in the community. I've never really noticed the leopards, but then sitting broadside to one like this is something that you don't get to see that often. Sitting on a termite mound like this, just posing. The other vehicle is getting absolutely fantastic photographs, as I'm sure all of you back home are getting wonderful screenshots. Now all I can see is his eyelashes. Dandy, thanks for that. I'm going to think of Hukumuri from now on as the eyelash king. And Nikki is laughing in my ear. Davy, can I move up a little bit there for you? Are you good? Are you happy? Okay. David's got a good view. I'm sure all of you back home are quite happy. This is really, really something to see. So he hasn't scent marked again since he turned right at that road. And it's very possible that he's moved in after crossing the boundary into what is known as Tingana's territory, and now he's probably being more cautious. Obviously, you'd like to come and steal food from him and steal a few females, but to actively seek him out, to carry on with that last discussion, is something that I don't know, you know. Really interesting discussion, though. Really interesting for us to be able to view these things and to spend time with these leopards for years and years and years and to learn the behaviors. And I think the books rewrite themselves after some time, and anything you might read in a book is one individual study done in an individual time with an individual species or animal in an area. So very hard to generalize it all. So we're going to stay here with this Hukumuri, the infamous interloper, and his amazing eyelashes. And while we do, we're going to go to another lady who I believe has also got some fantastic eyelashes.